So, with the reports of what's going on with Vince McMahon and the trafficking that he did, with this woman. One question I think a lot of people, are asking is, would anybody condone this? Would anybody say, yeah, it's fine that you did that? Despite the person's, position of power. And honestly, I would say no. I don't think you should condone it. I don't think you should encourage it. I think if anything, if you're caught, in some manner, of participating in this, or just, I guess what's the word I'm looking for? Affiliate. Hold on. If you, what I was trying to say is, if you're basically the one that's behind it, I should say that. I think you need to be held accountable for your actions. With every accusation, every piece of evidence, that proves, that basically proves that, you were responsible. You insinuated this. That's the word I was looking for. You insinuated this. I think, truthfully, you should be, held accountable. You should receive punishment. There's no denying it. It doesn't matter what position of power you have. You could be the freaking president of the United States or president of the damn world. And, if you get accused of doing something like this, then you should be held accountable. You should be held responsible for your actions. There's no getting around that. There's no trying to make an excuse for that. You could have your lawyers, your attorneys come out and say, no, that's not true, or this person is just out for money, and or this person just wants to ruin this person's life because that's how they are. They get a joy out of that. They get off on that. And look, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, what the situation is. Whether you feel you're innocent or either you feel you're innocent and the other person's lying, or that person feels they're telling the truth, and the truth must be known because they know you're guilty, and they've seen, from experience and heard from experience that you do whatever it takes in your power to cover it up. Either way you look at it, you need to take responsibility for your actions. End of discussion. You need to take responsibility in proving whether or not you're innocent. You need to take responsibility, in accepting if any of what's been accused against you is true, and taking the punishment, that comes with it. It doesn't matter, how high you are on the totem pole in the corporate world or the world of politics you are. No one is an exception. No one is exempt, if you will. No one is immune. No one is bulletproof. If you are accused of, these kind of allegations, trafficking, the RIPE, well, not RIP, but the RAPE is what I'm trying to say. If you're accused of the RAPE or the SA, the assault, but the other word that goes before it, intimidation, threatening of employment, and all that. Just because you want to get your rocks off over feeling superior and control, and that you basically believe you have control and everything. No. You need to realize that you might have all the money in the world. You might be or was at one point the owner, the CEO, the boss, the founder of the most, well-renowned entity in sports and sports entertainment in general. You need to realize that despite all that, you need to take responsibilities. You need to accept, the fact that you need to accept the fact that, you have to present yourself professionally. That's what you need to do. You need to present yourself professionally and maturely. You need to do that, because if not, then what does it say for, let's say, the company you own, the company that you're the face, you're the boss, you're the CEO of? and everybody that works for you beneath. If what does it say for them? What does it say for that company? It doesn't say anything good. It doesn't put that company in a very good light. It puts that company in a situation to where, yeah, it might recover it might recover in the future, but people are still going to be reminded if you, the person that's accused, are still there of what it had to recover from. So this is why it doesn't matter who the hell you are. I mean, why do you think, Donald Trump is being put into a situation he is right now? Because there's a lot of people, and I've said it before, a lot of people, mostly women and men, but mostly women, that are doing this to him because of what he said about them. And was he wrong about the way he treated and said things about women before he became president? Yes, he was very wrong, and he needs to take responsibility of that. He needs to take responsibility for that. He needs to come out doing this campaign and make it also an apology tour. Make up for what he did and say, hey, look, if I get elected, I'll try to make up for what I did, for the wrongdoings I did against women. That's what he needs to do. He needs to take responsibility, because at the end of the day, we all know that this is what all these states and everything are trying to do by getting them off the ballot. It's not because of January 6th and all that. It's because of what he did prior to his first term as president. And we all know that. And these are situations that even I said at one time were going to come back to bite him. And they are. And he needs to take responsibility. He does. He just can't come out and say, hey, maybe we might have a woman vice president or a woman president. That'd be great. He can't just say that and everything and think that's going to, that's going to take care of stuff. No. He needs to take responsibility for his actions. He needs to take the first step in saying, look, I was wrong in what I did, and I'm here to promise you that I will try my best to make up for it. That's what he needs to do. He needs to take that kind of responsibility. And again, this goes back to what I said earlier. It doesn't matter where your position in life is. If you are looked at in this manner, if you are accused of all this misconduct and all of that, then you, being in the position of power you're in, need to take that responsibility. You shouldn't try to use money to sweep it under the rug. You shouldn't use NDAs to keep it secret so that nobody knows. No. If somebody comes out and accuses you of what you did, you need to take action, and you need to take responsibility for what you did. Whether or not you're innocent or guilty, you need to accept that responsibility. Like I said earlier, if you believe you're innocent, then you need to take the action necessary to prove it. You need to show that, hey, these text messages this lady sent, these screenshots, of these text messages, they're wrong. They are a lie. You need to counter prove that. You need to counter prove that in a major way. Or if it turns out that, yeah, some of it might be made up or exaggerated, but the rest is true, and you're found guilty of that, then you need to take responsibility of that. You need to accept any punishment that comes your way. And if you're Vince McMahon and part of the punishment is, hey, you're no longer part of the TKO board of directors, you are hereby removed permanently, you are banned, you are erased, from history, or at least WWE and TKO history and all that, we're going to disassociate from you forever. If that's the punishment he has to face, then he has to accept that. He has to accept that, that punishment that he's going to get. He can't just try to talk his way out of it. He can't have any lawyers that Jerry McDevitt, who's supposedly retired now, is going to recommend for him to take on to represent him. No. He needs to take responsibility, if and inevitably when that moment happens, he has to accept it. He has to accept it. These kind of actions, these deplorable actions, are not without consequence. They're not. I mean, why do you think the guy right now, Jonathan Majors, is dealing with is doing what he's doing right now to clear his name? Because because here's the thing, Majors is not trying to run away from it. He's not trying to cover it up. He's taking action. He's taking responsibility. He is basically going out there and saying that, what you're being told is a lie. Or at least he's going out there and saying, yes, there is truth to it, but not the whole truth, because, she told you one part of it, but here's the real part, and there's evidence that backs that up. At least he's taking responsibility and willing to accept any punishment that comes his way. I mean, right now, one of the major punishments he's accepting is he's been removed, entirely, from the MCU. His Kang character is being written out or being recast because because Disney, as far as we know, is disassociating themselves with him and any other studios doing the same thing because of this. But what is he doing? Is he ignoring it? Is he saying that, hey, I'm just going to, pay this woman off and be done with it or do a settlement? No, he's taking responsibility. He's taking responsibility for these, for this situation to try to prove he's innocent, or at least try to prove, hey, not everything she told you is totally true, because here's the other part and here's the evidence that backs it up. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't matter where you are positioned in life, as an athlete, as a politician, as an owner, a CEO, or a board member, an executive chairman. It don't matter where you are, even if you're a common individual. If these kind of things, if you are accused of something, then you need to take responsibility yourself to either prove you're innocent or accept the responsibility of whatever punishment may come your way if you can't provide the evidence that proves your innocence, and a majority of the evidence that comes your way proves you're guilty. You need to man up or woman up and accept whatever punishment comes your way, and that's a fact. That is the truth, the end of the truth. And right now, Vince McMahon and his representatives, if they want to prove, like one spokesman said, that, all these accusations are false, all these accusations, these exaggerated, situations that this lady is talking about are a lie, they're defamation, they're trying to destroy the person that Vince is, then Vince needs to go out of his way, get his team, and basically prove, without a shadow of a doubt, that what this lady is doing, the lady that was supposed to keep quiet because of NDAs, is lying. They need to take responsibility of that. They do. They need to take that responsibility and take action to try to prove he's innocent, because right now, it doesn't look good for him. And honestly, I'm more to believe that a lot of this, maybe not all of it, a lot of what this lady is accusing him of, is true. It's true. And if you're wondering, why is he, suddenly speaking out if she signed an NDA, like I said in the previous video, and others have talked about this, as well when they've done live streams and videos and discussions on this. The NDA payments stopped coming. Vince basically started to what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, hold on. Vince started to regate. Basically, started to, take back any payment he would give. Or he basically would keep any payment he's supposed to give or send out to keep her quiet. He would regate. He would basically stop doing it. And, honestly, if part of the action for him to try to at least keep some resemblance of respect for his, for himself, if part of that is to resume the payments, then he's got to take that responsibility and do it. He's got to do that. But, but right now he's not doing that. Right now the excuse, the reasoning, the excuse he's saying, or the answer he's saying is, hey, look, this lady's lying. This lady is not, this lady is exaggerating and all that. And I'll prove it. And I will prove she's lying about me. Well, he's got to take action then. He's got to take responsibility, to prove his innocence. He has to. Because if not, then like I said, whatever punishment comes his way, whether all of this is true or, some of it's not, and the rest is, whatever punishment he gets, he's got to take responsibility and say, hey, look, I accept the punishment that you're giving me. Let this be a lesson to myself. I should have never conducted myself in this manner. That's what he needs to do. That's what he needs to do. Because again, it doesn't matter where you are in life, position-wise. It doesn't matter where you are position-wise in life. If you are found guilty of this, you need to accept the punishment and the responsibility of that punishment that comes with it. And if you believe you're innocent and you have others that believe you're innocent, then you need to do whatever it takes in your power, in your well-being, in your mind and heart, to try to prove, without a shadow of a doubt, that you did not do anything that you're accused of. And that's all I can really say. Because right now, Vince McMahon, if him and his team want to prove to the TKO board, to Ari Emanuel, to Mark Shapiro, to The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and all of them, that, hey, I did not do anything that this lady is accusing me of. If he wants to, basically clear his name, which right now is as dirty and as filthy as the mud that is on this ground. Right now, it is filthy and as dirty as this mud on the ground right now. If he wants to prove himself clean, of everything, then he needs to get to work right away. He needs to get to work right away, and even if he has to work with the TKO board, whatever investigative team they have working on this, to try to prove his innocence, because if he doesn't, if he doesn't do so and provide the evidence needed to counter-evidence her, he's done. And right now, all I can say is I'm more in favor of believing her, like I said earlier, than him. And all I can say is I've got a feeling within the next week or so, he's history. He's history, and we won't hear Vince McMahon ever mentioned again as far as TKO, WWE, or sports entertainment wrestling is concerned. The only McMahons we'll ever hear associated with that company will be Paul Levesque, the son-in-law, and maybe, by God, maybe Stephanie and Shane. Those are the only ones we'll hear. And maybe even Linda. Because Vince, he's going to be treated like a ghost. He is basically going to be treated like he's never existed. And you know what? I don't blame him. I don't blame him for that. But again, let this be a lesson to anybody. It don't matter. It don't matter who you are, what position of power you're in, as far as you are in life. Whether you're president of a country, king of a country, queen of a country, whether you're the Caesar, whether you're an ambassador, whether you're a CEO, chairman of the most powerful organizations in the world, it don't matter. Because sooner or later, if you're accused of something that you've done recently or in the past, in today's world, it's going to come back to bite you, and it's going to come back to bite you in a way that you may never recover from unless you take action, unless you take responsibility to prove, hey, what this person is accusing me of is a lie. But let this be a lesson that to anybody in a position of power or close to that, don't abuse it. Think to yourself, okay, I'm given this role, and I need to take responsibility and, accept this role, and do the right things with it. That's what they need to do. So let this be a lesson. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Comment down below, live chat during the premiere, like the video. And until next time, I am out.